Start telling your stories, Pauline, because I think you need to know how corrupt you are. Like, how corrupt you are. So I was minding my own business, right? I'd gone into town and taken the car to go into town and get some milk and stuff. And I was walking through the back car park of the town, and I noticed this young kid on the floor with all this stuff scattered around him. And as I got a bit closer, I realised it was the police. And this young kid was in severe distress, and these police officers were standing over the top of him with all this stuff. Everything he owned was out on the floor around him, Pauline. And they were throwing it on the floor, Pauline, like literally throwing it on the floor, pushing this kid around and yelling at this kid. And I thought, that's not right. That's not right for a police officer to treat a young boy like this. He must have been 16 or 17, Pauline. And yeah, he had a little bit of drugs on him, but nothing bad. And these police ripped his whole entire life apart. So I walked up to this police officer and I said something. And I said, look, treat him with some respect. And I got assaulted, Pauline. I got grabbed and they opened the paddy wagon door and literally threw me inside for merely asking them to show some respect and not treat someone the way they did. The way they did, Pauline. I didn't involve myself in this interaction between them because I stood about 3 metres away and yelled. And there's a precedent for this. There's an actual precedent for this. It's not interacting or stepping in or trying to stop a police officer from doing his duties if you yell from the sidelines. There's a precedent for this, Pauline, but that David Halpin didn't give a fuck, did he? He didn't give a fuck. So there I am in a paddy wagon. I rolled a cigarette, Pauline, and I lit a cigarette inside the paddy wagon, and I started smoking a cigarette while I listened to this kid being terrorised, Pauline, by these police officers. They know who they are. They know exactly who they are. Isn't that right, David Halpin? I believe his name was David. And then he grabbed me from out of this paddy wagon that he'd thrown me into, right? He said, get out. I didn't want to get out. You threw me in here, you take me out. Right? This is the total disrespect of these people, Pauline. They are not our sheriffs. They have no respect for the people on the land at all, Pauline. Basic revenue raises and treat everyone like children. Now you listen here. And we've had enough of it, Pauline. We want our sheriffs back. We're sick of this policy shit. We're sick of this manipulation of society by these people. So I watched this young kid be abused by New South Wales police, right? And then I was thrown in a paddy wagon and I was dragged down to a watch house. And when that police officer realised I actually had a brain in my head, Pauline, he threw me out the back door with a ticket to appear in the New South Wales Magistrates Court. A ticket to appear in the Magistrates Court before that David Halpin, who sent me to jail for what, Pauline? Trying to defend this 16, 17-year-old kid from a New South Wales police officer, Pauline, from a New South Wales police officer. These people are evil pieces of shit, Pauline. Absolute evil pieces of shit. Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. It's the Tourette's of a really evil machine, Pauline. A really evil machine where some of these constables totally ignorant to it. But some of them take you to a hospital and force you to be triaged last. Force you to go through suffering. Force you to go through mental distress. And then put a security guard at the end of the corridor in the hope that you'll crack. In the hope that you'll crack. Are those Palestinians cracking right now? Who runs this government, Pauline? Who runs this government if it's not under a line of authority with God? Who runs this government if it's not under a line of authority with God that allow these police to act this way, Pauline? It's a very simple question that needs an answer, Pauline. If these police do not act in a line of authority with God, who do they act for? It's a very simple question, Pauline. And why is David Halpern a technical and legal war criminal? And why would that lead to all the propaganda on TV and the sovereign citizen ideology coming from those very police, Pauline? Not from us, because we stood in a line of authority with God. And those police sold a sovereign citizen ideology from their American ideology. Who are they, Pauline? Where they come from, Pauline? Why did Anzac go into Beersheba, Pauline? Why did that police officer harass and intimidate a 16-year-old boy, Pauline? To the point where someone had to step in. That's the disgusting part. Go and have a look. That's why I was arrested. For trying to protect a 16-year-old kid from being terrorised by a New South Wales police officer. That's why this started, Pauline. Because your police are corrupt. Your police are corrupt. Starting to realise that we caught you out, and it's on the court record. It's on the Supreme Court record. It's on the District Court record. And it's no wonder David Halpern's all over the media, Pauline. All over Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 10 and the ABC. Acting, real acting, Pauline. Putting his whole entire career and his whole entire magistrates' court into disrepute. Putting every other magistrate of New South Wales in the same boat, Pauline. My God. And your plebs out there watching the TV, they don't care. Nor do we about them. You committed heinous international criminal offences in an international scope. And Pauline, we're bringing it to your attention because this land here that I'm on is in your jurisdiction under the state of Queensland. And I'm not a member of the state of Queensland. I proved that. I can't speak for the sugar industry. I don't have office like you have office. I'm supposed to deal with this stuff. And we're bringing it to your attention as a senator for the Commonwealth of Australia. You got war criminals in your states, Pauline. Actual, real war criminals that got caught out. Right? And for all that other stuff, I'd like you to go and have a look at Justice Lonergan and her history. What'd she do before she defined what I am, what I did, what this is? What this is? What did Justice Lonergan do before all of this, Pauline? Go and have a look. Might have something to do with George Pell and those pedos and the 27 names you won't fucking release, and Cossack having to go to an embassy for releasing one name. Pretty evil shit, right, Pauline?